Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, February 9th, and we are back for another episode to the Options Roundtable with some experts, and we're ready to talk about zero DTE options, trades, whatever. I know it's early. It's a day after the Super Bowl. I apologize to everyone, but hey, we got to make money, so we got to move on. And, let's go. Good morning to everyone that has joined on YouTube, and good morning to the roundtable. How you guys doing today? You guys awake?
Good morning. Yes.
Getting there. Good morning.
Well, we'll wake up as we go. Jonathan, it's up to you, but I was telling everyone earlier, we don't have to put the camera on.
Okay.
That's your call. I'm not. We're all we're probably half asleep, and we probably look half asleep, right? So
Yeah, I don't feel that great. So how do I do that?
you hit well, ask Double D. He just did it. Yeah,
The little camera icon.
Yep.
And the little arrow, it pops up something, and
Okay, I'll figure it out. Thanks.
I forgot what I did.
No problem. I'll figure it out.
Okay, so I'm gonna look up the definition of zero DTE. We're gonna start from scratch here. All right, I'm gonna zoom in. Let's see. Where's my? All right, and bear for those of you guys listening either live or after the fact, bear with us. We're just waking up here, so so zero DTE, 0 days to expiration, refers to options contracts that expire on the same day they are traded. I guess the popular one is SPX and the SPY, blah, 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 blah. It says popularity, there's about 1.5 million contracts traded daily, nearly half of all SPX option volume. So I guess like SPX in general, maybe that's what it's, primarily used for. Risks, it says extremely high volatility, and for buyers, rapid loss value, theta decay, blah, 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 blah. But, I mean, to me, and again, we could begin the discussion to, I guess, why zero DTE. But after the past 2 weeks, I kind of got a thought to myself, like, wouldn't it be nice to not, be done? Like, do your trade, close it for the day, after hours. You don't even care, right? You're in a cash position. You wake up the next morning, the market opens. Then you can decide, all right, I'm in, I'm out, right? So when it comes to zero DTE, and this is for anyone, speak up whenever you feel like it. Is that your thought behind zero DTE, or what? Why do you guys trade zero DTE if you do?
Well,
Absolutely, that's why I trade it.
Yeah. You can be in and out. I mean, I did a trade a couple weeks ago. It was 4 minutes long. That's unusual. But one thing you got to keep in mind is the pattern day trader rules. If you have less than 25K in the account, you can only do 3, and a day trade is considered in and out same day. If it expires, it doesn't count. You can only do 3 in a 5-day trading period. Otherwise, you are a pattern day trader and you have to maintain a 25K balance. But FINRA that's the financial regulatory agency, they don't want to do it anymore. We're waiting on the SEC to approve changing that. So that'd be a game changer.
That's a good point. So if your balance is less than 25,000 and you do more than 3 of these, I think you said per week, or is it five trading days maybe?
3 per 5 trading days you can do, 4 you cannot.
And then what is the penalty if you do?
Well, I don't know. I would think you could buy the option, but then when you go to sell it fourth time, same day, it won't let you sell it. You got to hold it.
Has anyone here gotten the warning or been penalized as a pattern day trader? Or
Yes, I found out the hard way. It happened to me. I did get a PDT designation on my account, and luckily, there were two ways to resolve it. You either bring your balance up to the $25,000 equity minimum, or they can do a one-time reset for you. It's like basically a lifetime reset for the account that can clear. They just tell you, not to do those 4-day trades again in that 5-day rolling period. Otherwise, if you get the designation again, it's permanent unless you get the account above $25,000.
so
What brokerage was that through, Joey?
That was through Fidelity.
All right.
So I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? It was a warning the first time?
No, well, I didn't really. I wasn't aware of the day trade counter, or where to find it on the broker, and I had normally just been letting my 0 DTE trades just kind of run to expiration and just kind of accepting either it was going to be a win or not. But no, there was no warning. I just woke up one morning and my margin power had dropped to 0, and
Okay.
I kind of had to look into it and realized I got the PDT designation.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good reminder in general. Obviously, if you have a balance, I guess less than 25, I assume 25 is the going, regardless of brokerage, that you don't want to deal with that, right? That's the bottom line. You just don't want to deal with that. So avoid it at all costs. Okay. So now, I think I got some of your thoughts on 0 DTEs. So is that maybe the main selling point, again, to be in and out within the same day, or shall we talk about other benefits?
There's well, that's the main benefit, in and out same day. You can sleep at night. You don't have to worry about after hours, pre-market, all that. But I only trade SPX when I day trade because I call it the S&P on steroids, and it's very highly liquid, pretty much the entire option chain. I mean, if you go to like one delta, I don't know, but and it's no assignment risk. They're cash settled, so if you get assigned, it's just cash taken out of your account.
Well,
You're not stuck with those shares. The SPX is what, 6,700, 6,900. So I don't have $690,000 to get assigned. So that's a huge benefit to me. You get that exposure without that risk.
Well, that brings up a point. And I'm going to pull up some of the 0 DTEs that I'm aware of, at least. You mentioned cash settle, right? So how do we know of these tickers which ones are cash settled, right? Is that where do people look that up? And just by looking at this list, which ones are cash settled only?
On that list, I think just XSP, but I'm not positive.
You're on your bottom row. Your first 3, the RUT and the NDX, are also cash settled index option tickers.
Okay, and SPX as well, right?
Yeah,
correct.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. I guess I can add that one because they have a.
I can speak for this SPY is not cash settled, and I have bought it before for $116,000.
wow.
Okay, wait, let's talk about that. So you did the SPY. You thought it was gonna cash settle. You let it go, and you got assigned. Is that what happened?
More or less, it trades after 4 o'clock, and it was gonna expire worthless at 4 o'clock, but I didn't realize at 4:15 it was gonna trade, and it assigned me an option, and or assigned me some SPY, and it put that money in my account at least, and didn't take it out. I ended up making money on the trade, but I didn't like it.
But you had the buy put, right? You had the
I sold the put, yes, and so it assigned me 200 shares of SPY or something, I guess, and it was a lot of money.
but you did a credit put spread.
Yes.
So were you still able to exercise the buy put?
Well, that wasn't that. No, I wasn't, because that was not. It didn't matter. They just assigned me the SPY, and I was negative the SPY basically, and that money was in my account.
Wow.
And then you just sold it the next day, right?
Correct. I just sold it. I just sold it right away. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that.
And it rebounded for you.
Right, and it rebounded. In the meantime, it had rebounded, so I made like $100 or $200. But it's just like, that's not something I want to be doing every day.
Yeah, you got lucky though, right? Which is good.
That goes back to it's not always the end of the world when assignment happens, right?
Correct. That part's correct, but it's just like, nope, I'm not trading that anymore.
Now, because again, when you do the credit put spread, you only need the collateral for the spread. What if you didn't have enough money to cover that? What happens?
You get a very short-term margin bill.
It'll still go through probably, right? And it'll it says figure it out the next day, I guess.
Pretty much.
Okay. Again, when I ask these questions, you can just, if you guys haven't been through it, just let me know what you guys thoughts are. Best day ever. Is your audio working?
I think so.
All right,
Yeah, I
he's
hear you.
here. Okay, good to see audio problems worked out. We're just talking a bunch of zero DTEs. So I guess, do you all strive to use the cash settle tickers, or are you careful enough that you don't care? You'll trade the SPY and you'll make sure that you're on the button before 4 p.m. You'll handle it yourself.
Yeah, I won't hold to position past 2 p.m. because that's when you get the the gamma explosion, which gamma is like the delta of the delta, and it really can move against you those last couple hours.
Okay, so 2 p.m. Close trade by 2 p.m.
That's my cutoff, 2 p.m. If I'm not out already, I set a profit target of 50% of the credit. So if I get $100 and it goes to 50, I'm out and I made $50. And that's usually pretty quick because it's a theta scalp play. Theta is going to deteriorate quickly. So unless you get a real hard movement against you, then they're usually they work out pretty good.
Yeah, because I wanted to make of course, a spreadsheet, and put some rules on it and maybe share with the community after it's kind of clean. So is that, let's go across the list here. So what is your number one rule with zero DTEs? This is a question for everyone. Okay, so we have close trade by 2 p.m. Does anyone else have any strict rules that we want to put on our list here?
I've got like 50 strict rules.
All right, we'll give someone else a chance and we'll come back to you. Unless they may have fallen asleep. That is possible. Super Bowl hangovers, they're real. They were more real in my 20s though. But I'm an old man now. All right, Jeff, what do you got? Any rules?
I don't have any rules. I'll let somebody else go. I do it. I usually go in for the day, is what it is, and
Yeah.
I try to stick to my levels, and I stick to maybe outside my levels even, so that I have room, because the levels are not always correct. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, that's a rule though. What are these
There you go.
levels? What are these levels you speak
Well,
of?
the levels are something that I post every morning, usually around 8:10 or 8:15, and I get them from Schwab and a gentleman named Kevin Green, who's on TV every morning, and he gives out the levels.
Okay, stay within the levels. What about time? Will you make a trade at 9:30 a.m. or will you wait and let the market kind of move around a little bit?
I'll make a trade at 9:30. Sometimes that's the best time to make a trade because it'll boom up, but sometimes it's a bad time to make the trade. I
Okay.
can't, I wish I had a rule. I don't have a rule.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing for that.
All right. Best day ever. I know you've been doing these for quite some time. You got any rules that you write down for yourself for these? He's on mute if you're talking and someone's clicking. How about Rob? Rob, you got any rules?
Yeah, I think one of the rules I have is I'll never do naked, I guess, or like a single, short call and short put. I always try to keep a spread on, and it's mainly for buying power purposes, right? It's a lot cheaper to have, even if you just buy a $5 put, 5 cent put or whatever on the downside. It helps a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point for clarity for, I guess, everyone. I think, does everyone always just do a spread, whether it's a put or call spread?
I always do a spread.
Absolutely.
Because you got to be rich, if not, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And then, Rob, I'm going to pull up your website in a second, and then maybe when we'll get into these levels. I'm not sure if we can utilize your website for that, but I'll let you speak to what you just added recently if it's on there.
Cool.
Anyone else on the zero DTEs that hasn't spoken? Joey, I know SB. I don't think you do. SB, do you do zero DTEs or are you here and there around them?
I've done a few, but it's not something I do regular. So it's very spotty.
Is it because you still work, or is it because you're just not into it?
Well, my experience was the risk reward. I'd win 10 and then lose one max, and I'm like back at even, or win 6 and lose 1 and I'm down something. So I don't know. It seemed to be a lot for not much. Now, if you see my account total over the last couple of weeks, you'd wonder why I trade at all. So anyway, that's I guess basically my why.
Okay. And Joey got a new
Yes.
fancy picture and all, so we want to see it light up when you speak.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, here more recently, I'd say within the last 6 weeks or so, I really have been aiming to make sure that my net credit received when I sell the contract is at least, so I do $5 spreads on the SPX, and I have been trying to make my premium be at minimum $125 a net credit for the spread, and basically that's 1/3 of what you're risking. So you do, the 500 minus the 125 gives you the 375, max risk. So 125 of the 375 is a 33% basically, credit for what you're risking. And so I try not to force a trade. I'll let the market kind of move towards my strike and have that credit put in there. And just if it feels great, if it doesn't, that's fine too. So
Wait, did you say
yeah.
On a $500 spread you want 125? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I aim for. Yeah, 125, which is a third. I'm sorry.
You're not in the trade unless you're making that at least 25% or so. basically.
Yeah. Yes, recently. Yeah, and that seems to have helped a lot, especially when you take a loss. At least you're basically have stemmed it, I guess, at two-thirds of a loss of what your credit was, or 2 times, I guess, what your credit was.
Okay. And Dylan is talking deltas over here. When we look at I guess we'll stick to puts. When we sell a put, what is the delta on the sold put? Is there a minimum or a maximum? Or is it simply based on how much you're making for the day? Or again, for anyone.
Well, I'll jump in. I don't specifically look at delta. I look at the expected move for the day, and then I'll do like 1.5 times outside of that.
All right, wait, hold on. I just want to pause right there. Expected move of the day, because this is something some of us learned in the chat thanks to SB. So I don't know if you use Thinkorswim, Double D. So just to anyone watching, if you look at the options chain, I believe the plus minus expected move of the day is represented here. Double D, what brokerage do you use? And if it's not Thinkorswim, where do you get that information?
Robinhood Legend
Okay.
is a great. I love that platform. I used to hate it. Well, Robinhood is really user friendly, but now they have the Robinhood Legend. It's free to use, and it looks very similar to what we're looking at here.
Okay. All right. Sorry to cut you off. So you said you use expected move of the day, and then what happened?
Well, depends on the strategy. If I'm just doing one spread or an iron condor, which is call credit spread and a put credit spread, if the expected move is 10, then I'll do my calls at 15 out and my puts 15 out, 1.5 times. And the deltas, delta's probably around 15.
For the
sold
put.
Yeah, for the sold options.
How wide do you do your spread?
I do 5.
See, I was going out to about 10, and I was doing like a 15 spread.
Yeah, and I've done those.
So
I've done those. It's just
when you get hit pretty good.
Exactly. You get hit a lot harder, and so I like the 5. I'm not trading for a living, so it's that's that.
Still working, right? So you gotta take some bathroom breaks, close these trades out, or do you do limit orders?
I do limit orders. Once I'm in the trade, I immediately set a 50% profit on the credit. So I get $100. I set it at $50. Buy it back, and then I'll just keep an eye on it when to get out. I never take full loss. If I'm in an iron condor, if the price is approaching one of my sold strikes, I'll roll the untested side. So the price is going up towards the calls. I'll roll the puts up, get a little more credit. And then depending on what the market's doing, I could just close the calls out or close the whole thing out.
Okay. Now, here's a question from Parabolic. What technical analysis are you using for the expected move for the day? Or are we just looking at the expected move on the options chain?
On the chain.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I have a question that I've been thinking about. Because every day there's, these numbers are coming out, those numbers are coming out, right? Do you guys have that like schedule? Like if there's a special announcement, you like, okay, Powell's coming out today. I'm not getting involved. Or these numbers are coming out today. I'm not getting involved. You guys keep an eye on all that?
Yeah, if there's a major news coming out, I won't trade that day.
Okay. Does everyone else Keep an eye on that too. CPI or again, every day I feel like there's always some kind of freaking number coming out.
Yeah, it's hard too because IV is usually up that day, so options are expensive that day. So it's like it's very tempting to sell them.
Okay, who wants to answer this question? Can you explain in layman's terms spread? Are you placing two credit spreads $5 apart? I mean, I can answer, but people are probably trying to not hear my groggly voice. Who wants to be brave?
Yeah, sure. When I said always make it a spread, I meant if you're selling a put, always buy a long put with that short put, right? So instead of being short, $580,000 or whatever, or $680,000, if you're selling the 680 put, you buy the 675 put, and that makes it a 5 wide spread. So your only at risk amount is $500, minus the credit that you're getting for selling the put.
Okay, and I'll pull up as you're speaking, sorry, SPX. So SPX has the $5. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. Hold on a second. Doesn't bode well for the work day here. But so SPX, a little more expensive, right? So when you say we keep mentioning $5, their strikes are all $5 apart. So if you sell a put and you don't buy a put underneath of it, good luck, right? You better be bullish and you better have a lot of money, right? But so what you do, as you mentioned, you sell a put. Let's just look for the delta. I have to add more strikes. I hate how 14 is like the last option, but all right. So we're on the put side here. So 20 delta, 6,875. So you guys would sell a put if you're doing 20 delta at 68.75, and you buy a put at 68.70 at the same time, right? That's also key, I believe, right? That's a must unless you have the collateral.
Yeah, your broker probably won't even let you.
Yeah, it'll be like, nope, you broke ass. So you got to make sure you click both, and then 5 times the number of contracts that you choose, that'll be the collateral held against your account. So yeah, when we say spreads, think of the difference between the strike. When we say credit put spread, you're selling the put with a higher strike than the put that you're buying at. I know the screen's kind of small too, but again, I'm going to pull Rob's website up in a second. But before that, I just want to finish off the rules. Any more important rules we should add? I know Double D, you said you have 1 million. Do you want to spit off a few more?
Yeah. So, well, like I said, I set the profit target immediately, and
For what?
50% of the credit.
Okay.
If I get $100, I'll buy it back at 50. And
So
that order is set right after I'm filled.
Limit buy to close. You'll sell it for 50% profit.
I'll buy it back.
You'll buy it back.
Yeah.
50%. Okay.
Of the credit.
And you do that immediately after you execute the position.
Yep.
Okay. What about everyone else? What's your number on that? What do you guys do? Or do you sit there and stare at the screen all day?
I personally stare at the screen all day, but I'm already sitting at the screen all day. But I had a question for Double D. Do you set the buy to close on both the short put and the long put, or the short and the long side, or just
yeah? I'll enter the order as a spread, both at the same time,
spread.
And then I'll buy to close one, sell to close the other.
Okay, cool.
Limit, yeah.
I know there's some people that will just do the short side only and kind of keep the long side on just in case. You kind of almost look at the long side as almost like a throwaway hedge kind of thing.
Best day ever, by the way. I know you're back. Is your audio working now? You're muted if you're talking.
I think so. I total struggle bus this morning, so sorry about that.
Well, while it's working, do you have any rules for us to plug in here?
You know, I am extremely vanilla and not as complex as any of these fine gentlemen here. I started doing the zero DTs really as one DT. So I would do it on the daily basis. But I worked it strictly kind of like a wheel. So I didn't mind if I got assigned. Back when I started the queues, I never did the SPY, but the queues were I don't say only, but only 280, about 280 bucks. In the account, I could do that. So I was pretty vanilla, mostly just wheeling it. I'd get stuck behind it, you know, for up to 2 months sometimes. But my only rule was basically never to get out at a loss of capital. So sometimes I get stuck behind the number and have to sell more than just a 1 day or 2 days out.
Now, speaking of getting stuck, when the trade is not going our way, what do we do, right? The 500 is the risk. Let's just talk SPX, I guess, net of the credit. Are we willing to accept that full risk, or do we have also a limit on the loss? That's to anyone.
I do. If let's say I get a $100 credit and now it's at 200, I got to buy it back at 200. Well, at 300, it's twice the credit loss. But again, it depends on what the market's doing. Mm-hmm. I'll roll it if I can still get credit. I will never pay to roll, to chase a loss. But I'll never take the full loss. If it gets to my short strike, I'm either out or moving it.
So you're either rolling for credit
if you can
in a losing position, rolling for credit, or closing for the loss.
But keep in mind, if you roll it, that is another day trade. So, for the pattern day trading rules, that's 2 trades in 1 day towards your 5 days.
Yep. Better
in a margin.
25 Gs.
I saw in the comments, if you have a cash account, that does not apply.
Okay. All right. What else? What are we missing? Like, what is key here? And for beginners, what do you tell beginners? Do you tell them maybe mess with the SPY? Because when we talk SPY versus SPX, we're talking, well, again, let me go back to the tickers. So we have SPY, which is not cash settled. And then we got these 2 suckers here. I think this is .INX. I'm on freaking Google Sheets, right? Yeah, okay. So, all right. Between XSP and SPX, that's what that's supposed to be. These are cash settled, right? So again, I guess it depends. XSP, I think, is dollar spreads. Did you guys start with dollar spreads? Would you recommend newbies messing around with dollar spreads versus $5 spreads? Or I guess it doesn't really matter as long as you're. Oh, these are not dollar spreads. These are $5 spreads too. Wow. Okay.
I think you're just too far down the chain. I think maybe if you go closer.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, because I got the freaking all set. There you go. Rob to the rescue. All right. So yeah, do you guys all do the $5, or is it? Do you do it? Is the dollar even worth it, or is it just for like if you're just starting off, maybe?
I would say, the benefit of the XSP is you can do the shorter, the smaller than the $5 spreads. So I'd say if you're just getting your feet wet doing this, and you want to kind of make your max loss smaller or more, define it smaller, then you have a little more control over that with the XSP because you can go down to the dollar spreads on that. I trade some longer dated iron condors, weak iron condors, and for those I use the XSP for those with a $3 spread, and so yeah, I'd say for a beginner, especially a smaller account, your hit won't be as bad if it goes against you with the XSP.
Yeah, like me. All right, so yeah, I should probably mess around with a XSP. Okay. Anything else? I'm gonna go to Rob's website, but any bits or pieces of information that's important when doing zero DTEs? Or do any of you feel like some of these high yield funds, maybe it's worth it to just have them do it, right? Because obviously there's plenty of funds that do it. Is it worth it to pay them to do it, or is it easy enough that we could all manage it ourselves? Or do you do both? All right, silence means.
And I do want to, Dylan just pointed out about the taxes for SPX. It's a 1256 contract, so you're in and out the same day, but 60% of your profit, if you make a profit, is a long-term capital gain. And 40% is a short-term capital gain. So a lot more tax efficient there. It's not ordinary income.
So that's SPX, that's XSP.
I'm not sure about the others because I only do SPX, but I would think so.
Yeah, it's the same for ES and MES contracts as well, if anyone does futures trading on Tasty.
Yeah, hold on here. Wait.
Sorry.
You guys in your condors and your futures trading. All right. We're in the basics here. We will have definitely future roundtables on that. But for 1260 contract, I think the RUT, the RUT, also qualifies.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I believe any of the cash settled indexes are all cash settled or are all apply to that special tax treatment. And on where you have 1260 contract, Rod, it's actually a 1256 contract. Is the
Thank you.
That's it right there. You're welcome.
And that's 60% capital
Long
gain,
term.
right?
Long-term gain and 40% short.
Yep. Okay. I'll just put income. Keep it simple. All right. Okay. All right. Now we're going to the fanciest website in the world, StockTools.app. So, Rob, I know you sent us something. Was that on production yet? Was that?
Oh, yeah. Okay. If you go up to options at the top left, there's a GEX analysis in there.
All right. Hold on. What is GEX for everyone that, I know you have it up here, but
sure, yeah, gamma exposure, right? So it's trying to show where the put and call walls are, because it's where all the volume is really on the options chain, and it's kind of I guess the best way to explain it is when you buy an option or sell an option, the other side is the market maker. It's not, you're not selling, I'm not selling a put and SB is buying it or somebody, or, it's not like, it's not normal users usually on the other side of our trade. It's always a market maker who's over there taking
it's the market maker. It's the peeps over there. It's not us scrubs.
Right. So whenever they take on our action, they hedge the position by either buying or selling shares against that option that they're forced to kind of take on. And so what the concept is these walls kind of act like almost it's almost like reverse. They're almost like kind of boundaries, right? Because as they get closer to those big walls, the market makers are unwinding those hedges, right? And so the the deltas and the gammas kind of go in their direction, and they start, you know, unwinding their positions at the same time. So it's like, so it can and will blow past those levels, but it's like, I don't know, it's like a different level of expected move almost. I don't know if that's a good way to explain it, but if you scroll down a little bit more, there's like it's kind of, you know, showing the range there.
All right, so hold on, wait. So you default your website. You default to the SPY, right? So we have the SPY up right now. Before we go down,
sure.
So you wanted me to go to here, right?
Yeah, just right there is good. Okay. It's and so yeah, so what the site is doing is it's looking at all the expirations right now, and it's seeing where the most volume is on the put side and on the call side, and then it's just really just showing you where the current put wall and the call wall is right now. So yeah, so right now it looks like SPY will probably be in this range for the next couple of days of 685 to 700, most likely, but no promises.
All right. So when you say the wall, this is where the most action is on the put, which is the next strike down, because the current price is 689, right?
Yeah.
The most open interest, or whatever we're calling it. But the call, it skipped a strike. It skips 2 strikes, and then it jumps to 700. So that's the wall. So what does that mean to us? Is that really resistance? Like, is that what we think, or is that the move in the price? Is that what they use? Right? Is $15 the move? Like what? Or I guess 700 minus 689. I don't know. What are we using these numbers for?
Personally, I use them as just kind of guidance for like bookends on where price could go, and also where to kind of start getting out.
Okay.
Like how do you, like where do you get out? You know, when it gets to 700, if you're long, you maybe might want to start taking profit, or if you're short, you know, start taking profit at 685 because it might bounce from there.
Yeah, and anyone on the round table, you guys feel free to ask if you also have questions as we go through this, because you guys are the pros anyway. So I don't know if anyone's seen this this new addition to his website.
Yeah, and then further down, it's just like a more visualization of the of where all of the prices are across, you know, all the expirations, and so that's just showing, you know, actually where the yeah, actually some pretty good walls there, like 683. It looks like also, or 693. I mean, somewhere in there. But yeah, it's really looking at open interest, right? Because there's somebody on the other side of each one of those open contracts, and they're hedging their positions.
Yeah.
And they're going to manage them as price moves. They're taking those hedges on and off. And yeah, and it'll work for any. Yeah, I don't think I have XSP support on here because I don't have indexes on here. But you could do Apple or Nvidia or Tesla or anything.
This is it, right?
Yeah, maybe. Actually.
Oh, it doesn't update. Okay.
No, it doesn't like it.
What about SPX? Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I got to spend another. I got to upgrade to to my data provider to get those.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing's cheap. You gotta crazy. All right. So when we talked about levels before, I think it was Jeff. Jeff gets his levels from Schwab or another person. Is that something that we're looking at here anywhere? Is this something we could figure out looking at this?
I believe, yeah. The gentleman that Jeff spoke of, Kevin Green, he's the analyst on the Charles. Yeah, he's also got a Twitter, or I'm sorry, an X account as well. And I don't know personally, but Jeff might know. I don't know if he posts the levels daily on there as well, in addition to his segment on the Schwab Network every morning. But I believe. I'm sorry.
Did you post it today yet?
Oh, right. Yeah, he hasn't spoke yet. He comes on, I think, at like 7:00 Central Time. So
okay.
Yeah, but I believe that's where, you know, he has a graph that or a chart he will share on his X account, and it's basically you know, I guess he gets the levels from the put and the call walls, like Rob was explaining, where a lot of open interest is in volume, and so
yeah. Now, so when you guys hear levels, obviously you have two numbers, right? What are you doing with that? Like what's the low number? Is that the lowest you'll go on the sell?
I personally try to, you know, like if the downside is like 68.50 or something for like the downside level on the SPX, you know, I'll sometimes, especially if the market kind of drops at the open or is heading down towards that, I like to go outside the level, maybe one or two strikes. So like I might sell my short strike at 68.45 or 68.40 and kind of, you know, give myself a little extra protection in case it breaks to that put wall. And so that's my strategy most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I do. I'm looking now, and I wouldn't trade this at 9:30. I always wait till 10:30. But the expected move on SPX is about 60 points today. So I'll go 90 points for my short option, which would be right, you know, right at that like 68.40.
What'd you have for SPX?
Expected move is this is on Robinhood, 59.27.
Okay. Why don't we have 45? Is it possible that it'd be that far off?
I was going to add too, not to backpedal too much, but a quick calculation that you can do for like expected move of the day. There's like a method called the rule of 16. You take the VIX level and divide it by 16 to get like the 1 day percentage move. So if the VIX is sitting at a 20, divide 20 by 16. So the expected move for the day would be like 1.25% in either direction. So you just take, you know, the closing price and apply that calculation to that. And, you know, like it's kind of like a general thing. If you wanted just a quick, you know, you look at the VIX and trying to kind of estimate the expected move of the day, you can do that calculation.
All right. So what is that again? VIX divided by what?
Divided by 16.
Is the move for then what? Is that the end?
It's just, yeah. So like I said, if it's like the VIX is sitting at a 20, let's say we're at like 6,900 for the day, or, you know, that's the closing price from the day before, and VIX is at a 20 that morning. So that'd be a 1.25% move in either direction. So 6,900 would, let's see. So like, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so it'd be like 69.85 or so, 86 for like, you know, or 85 points or so in either direction. So if a VIX was sitting at a 20, and that would be the expected move is 1.25%. Or, you know, VIX is sitting at 16, a 1% move in either direction.
All right. Well, if you have a brokerage that provides it, I guess.
Yeah,
Probably
true.
safe. You know, we don't want to completely overcomplicate this, right? But it's all right. Before we, all right. So what do we got? You got all. So this is all expirations. Single expiration. Oh, okay. So if we choose individual day, okay, now it changes. All right. That was based on all expert. I would say, well, no, this is not geared towards 0 DTE. So I guess that's why you don't have the default to the current day, right? Right, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Best day ever. I know you didn't get much of a chance to speak. Are there any words of wisdom when it comes to the zero DTE world that you'd like to share with the community?
Like I said, I'm doing it differently than most of the people on the stage. I do the Tasty Trade 45 days to expiration with his spreads, so I am familiar with what they're doing there. But for me, the dailies, and really it's one day to close because I'm doing them on the daily, but I don't necessarily just close out for cash. Is just make sure that you have your predefined and set rules of how you're going to trade it before you get in, and don't let the action of the day one way or the other emotionally affect how you're going to trade them. That would be my only real suggestion to anybody. But all these fine gentlemen have already spoken about that.
Okay, and I'll go through some questions real quick. I'm sure it may have been answered in the chat, but yeah, no, the Qs do not qualify for the 1256. Look, even M Cheese has questions, and you know it's not often M Cheese asks us a question, so let's enjoy it, right? Do you guys notice better decay on a $5 spread on XSP versus a $5 on SPX, since a $5 spread in a smaller product may not have to hold as close to the end of the day? Does anyone have a thought on that? Here's your chance to school M Cheese. Come on.
I don't watch XSP, so I wouldn't know. I would think it would have better decay than the SPX, but I would also think you get better premium on SPX, but not sure. So it's, a trade-off.
Yeah. Okay. Another question on the credit spread order. Are you able to select both legs in the same order? Also, is the limit to buy close placed as an order? I've never placed a limit to close. So on the first question, at least on Think or Swim, since I have it up, I could show. I think it's so if we look at, let's just say the 6905, and then I believe you have to hold control to get both. Yeah.
For parabolic, because I know she's on Fidelity, when you select the first leg of your trade, or if you're selling the put, it gives you an option to add a second leg right underneath it, a little plus icon. So you add the second leg there, and you then select your if you're doing the $5 spread, the $5 spread buy to open, and then you just select what you're willing to accept as the price and execute the trade just for parabolic on Fidelity.
Okay, thank you. And then Think or Swim, you click one, you hold control, and then you click the other. On the app, there's a checkbox, which again, both are pretty easy to use. What about Robinhood? Can you only do that on Legend Double D, or can you do it on the basic Robinhood app?
You can do it on the app. It's just not as easy. On Legend, if I'm doing a put spread, I just click on the bid and it pops up an order to sell. And then I click on the ask that I want to buy, and it populates into that order. It's so easy. And it's 3 clicks.
And you got to get Robinhood as a sponsor on your channel.
Yeah, I do. I also have to get Robinhood to pay distributions during market hours.
Hood earnings this week too, right? Hopefully.
Don't get me started with Robinhood stock. Right? Let's see. Question, Ambassador, how have those spreads been working for you, the 45-day?
So far, I've really enjoyed the trade. It's fairly hands off because you're looking to, if you're following the Tasty example, you're looking to close around that 21 days to expiration. So So far, they've been fine. I've enjoyed the trade. It's a pretty hands-off style, and it still allows me to trade the queues without ponying up the $68,000 per contract if I'm doing a wheel or not doing the spread. So I'm liking it.
Okay. Yeah, I know we spoke about several things. Obviously, that strategy, condors, futures, and I'm sorry if I cut any of you off, but I wanted to keep it, because zero DTE, learning zero DTE, especially like brand new, I mean, that's enough of a challenge, right? Versus when we mention these other names from the outside looking in, I know how complicated it can be. So again, I apologize for cutting any of you guys off, but we will. Let me let this dog out. But we will get into those other, if you guys are willing to come back and share how they work. We're about on the hour. What did we miss when it comes to zero DTE? The one thing I think, like I think it was maybe a Tuttle, like they're saying zero DTE, but what they're doing is just opening and closing a contract on something that doesn't have daily expirations, right? So do any of you do that? Like MSTR, you could sell, put, close it the same day and consider it zero DTE, or does that not count in your book?
That's just
That doesn't count unless it's expiration day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday. Yeah, exactly. That's just day trading, but not zero.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, and then GLD and SLV, and obviously Tesla, Nvidia, and some others now. I think what are they? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That you're able to do those. Do any of you miss some of those?
There is now Mag 7 does that too now.
Yeah, so the Mag 7 and iBit went to the Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
Okay. Yeah, so it's getting a little busy out here. So it's good to see they're going in that direction, though, right? But again, it's hard to have time, right?
Yeah, it makes it probably more confusing too.
Yeah, it makes. Well, yeah, your website is going to be blowing up soon. All this options data. So, I guess real quick, and I'd like to go down the line if you guys are brave enough. With your experience on zero DTE, what's your thought? Like, how has your success been? Would you recommend it? Are you sticking with it, or are you too new to talk about it? I'm just going to go down the line on my visual. I see Double D next to me. What's your thought on that?
I'm definitely sticking with it. Again, I can't do it every day because of work. I'm off this Friday as of now. That can change, so I might do a live trade Friday morning. But again, I don't touch it. I don't touch it till 10:30, and I'm out by 2 at the latest. It's very VIX dependent on what my strategy is. Where my deltas are going to be, if I'm going to do a 5 or a 10 spread. So I'm looking at VIX and the futures, and it's pretty flat. It's at 19.18. But again, I won't touch it till 10:30, and but yeah, I love it. I mean, I would say 90% of the time I hit my 50% profit on credit, and then the other 10% I'm rolling. One side if it's a condor. So I mean, it's probably 2% of the time I'm closing for a loss, but it's not full loss. So it's working great. You got to have rules, and you got to stick to the rules no matter what.
Okay, so works great as long as you have the rule book in place and you stick with it. SB, you're next in line. I know you say you don't do this much, but any plans to try these a little more down the road, or not your cup of tea at the moment?
Honestly, I really feel like I have enough balls juggling in the air
You do. You do.
To not pick up another play. Not saying it's not a good play. In some ways, I guess it scratches the itch if you want to be really active. But not saying it's something I won't do in the future. I just don't think it's in my near future.
Don't you like the thought of having a cash position overnight, though?
Yeah, especially when it bleeds like it's been bleeding the last 2 weeks, like a stuck hog.
Yeah.
When the car drives off the cliff, that'd been nice.
Best day ever. Any recommendations, thoughts for the community? Anywhere they should go to learn, whether it be the 45 DTE that you're learning. I assume you started maybe with 0 DTE and then you branched off, but any thoughts for the community?
Yeah, I think there's a YouTuber called The Average Joe. He talks about this kind of stuff a lot and has some good material. Some of it is behind a small paywall, but a lot of it is free. So I think there's a good material there, at least to learn. He's fairly good at explaining. And then there are tons of other folks that teach it out there. I've migrated from doing the 1 DTEs or the wheel on the Qs to the 45 DTEs, just as far as cash, meaning it's just so less expensive or the collateral needed is so much less, and the money is relatively the same. I still am doing the IWMs. I've done them for a long time. I would say that as long as you have the rules, like Double D was saying, you have the rules, you stick to it, you don't let the emotions get to you, I think you can have success doing it. And as the other nice gentleman was saying, it does scratch the itch. So those folks that feel like they need to be active and be doing something to earn the money that they're making, then the 1 DT, 0 DT is a good way to do it, and have themselves feel like they're actively participating, but not necessary.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, Rob. What are your thoughts? How has this 0 DT world treated you?
Yeah, I like to. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly too. There's a lot of shoveling this weekend and all that stuff. The call side is much harder to defend than the short side, than the put side, I would say, right? And so something I like to do is I will do kind of like a covered strangle on QQQ. But I know that from experience, I end up rolling the call side a lot more than I do the put side. It doesn't feel like that the last week or two, but usually the call side is the one that's getting challenged a lot more often. I end up having to roll out the call side, and I'll end up kicking it out a week or something, just trying to keep up with the Qs. So yeah,
you recommend doing this using the put side only, not only, but primarily.
Yeah, honestly, yes. I mean, it's hard to say it this week or after last week and all the craziness that's been happening. But historically, yes, the put side is a little bit easier to manage than the call side.
Okay, and real quick, Rob's website again is StockTools.app. It does a hell of a lot more than what we talked about today. I'll pin the link to the top of the comments. I just pinned it in the live chat, but if you guys are interested, go check out his website out. It's beyond impressive, and I'm sure. Also, he's in the Discord, so if you have suggestions, he always welcomes suggestions, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy to help.
Yeah, I just want to confirm and back up what you say about his StockTools.app. It's a great and fabulous website, especially for doing this kind of thing or any kind of options. It's a great resource.
It is now confirmed.
Thank you.
We got the full validation of best day ever. What more could you ask, right? But no, for real, thank you for always taking our feedback on that website. Joey, what do we got, Joey? What do you think?
I mean, I don't have too much to add, I guess, to what everyone else has said. Great suggestions and tips. I'm fairly new to these. I just started trading them at the end of October. But yeah, I'd say, especially if you're working a full-time job too, and especially like standard Monday through Friday hours, zero DD, I feel like you do have to kind of watch them a little more, because things can change very quickly. But yeah, overall, I've been enjoying them. Like as B said, it does kind of it does scratch the itch. So if if you want to be a little more active, it's definitely a trade that I feel like is a little more hands on. So
Okay.
but yep.
Alrighty. We're over. Sorry for going over, but as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video was for fun and entertainment. I know some of us had to go, so I couldn't say thank you to them, but thank you all for getting up at the crack of dawn to join the party. Again, I'll try to have more of these, and hopefully, as others are available to join, they could join. Again, this is like a community roundtable. We had some special guests today, like Best Day Ever and Double D and Rob. Rob's becoming a celebrity with his website. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play my song, but I'm going to pull up Double D's YouTube. So I figured he did mention, if it's okay with you, Double D, of course, he did mention that he is doing a live trade, I believe, this Friday. So I'm going to share maybe one of his earlier videos that did a live trade while we play the ROD song. Then I'll come back with a keyword, and then we'll wrap it up. So yeah, thank you all for joining the roundtable. Thank you all for joining live with your questions and feedback. And thank you all for watching after the fact. So let's get some music on, and let's get our day started.
Yeah. Good morning, friends. R to the O to the D. Retire on dividends, you know me. Cash flow mindset moving differently. Numbers don't lie, plans stay ready. If you want that life, say freedom with me. R to the O to the D. Retire on dividends, you know me. Built, not sold, yeah, intentionally. No hype talk, just clarity. If you want that life, say freedom with me. Mid-40s, married man, house stay loud. Raising up boys, turning boys into men. New puppy running, chaos around. Still clocking in, but he plotting the end. Giants fan scars, yeah, he wear that pain. Smiles through the losses like part of the game. Never throw shots, never talks that mess. Builds people up, less results address. Streams every day, never missing a beat. YouTube live X when the mic get heat. Not selling dreams, just showing the math. Wins and drawdowns, full on his path. Spreadsheet brain with a streetwise frame. Plays of discipline, never chasing fame. R to the O to the D. Retire on dividends, you know me. Cash flow mindset moving differently. Numbers don't lie, plans stay ready. If you want that life, say freedom with me. Yeah. Options on screen, risk handle precise. Structures built calm, every move got a price. Cover calls roll, protection in place. Time on his side, patience setting the pace. They say slow down, he say stay exact. Same calm tone when the market snap. Runs through mud just to test that will. Same mindset when the chart goes still. Sings on the post, crowd laugh, he grin. Go dig a hook, but the lesson still win. Movie quotes fly, wrestling frame. Serious work, but he keep it light, man. R to the O to the D. Retire on dividends, you know me. Cash flow mindset moving differently. Numbers don't lie, plans stay ready. If you want that life, say freedom with me. If you want that life, say freedom with me. This was for fun and entertainment purposes. I hope you have fun and were entertained. if not, I'll do better next time. And if you made it this far, and you want to make sure everybody knows, you got to say the keyword.
Keyword today, if you made it this far in the video and you would like to prove it, you got to type in double D, DD, DD. You know, not those double Ds. I know what you're thinking. It's just double D, dividend degenerate. All right, go check out his YouTube channel out. I just pinned it in the live chat. Let's get him to 1,000 subs, like now. Like, what are you guys doing? Let's go. Anyway, thank you all for watching and have a great day. Thank you all who are still here from the roundtable. Appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone. Lay.